A lot of people have been real mean and hateful towards me because I speak out. You get to see how people don't listen to me. How both men and women have been taught only to listen to women. That's why Chloe Roma and the dadvocate are so important. Who are these women? These are women who try to stick up for men's rights. Men are more likely to listen to a woman speaking than a man. And the prettier she is, the more important it is. Now, both of these women make quite a bit of money. A lot of men donate to them because they do advocate for men to some degree. We do need to pay attention to that measure. To what degree? To what degree are they helping and to what degree are they hurting? Why does a man have to be dead for you to listen? And a woman for that matter. Natalie Bollinger was an important person in my life and a lot of other people's lives for a reason. She was wonderful in real life. Now, the dadvocate and Chloe Roma both oftentimes try to tell simp men how to get women. No, you already know that shit doesn't work. You both speak up about how that shit doesn't work, followed by giving that kind of advice. For being a man, there's a lot of ideas that you have that are good ideas in a woman's world. And I do thank you for trying. That much I can give you. And I can see that you do collaborate with other women. See what that looks like to us is the same old, us girls got to stick together. A lot of things that you talk about and say are very much hateful things that we men have to deal with. Chloe Roma has said on more than one occasion that a person should lie in court. I'm not okay with that. You should absolutely tell the truth in court. One of the things that she's angry at another lady with, the situation is that this other lady is selling a false narrative. What did this guy here kill himself over? A false narrative. Not only that, but this guy dealt with it for a few days. And he only dealt with a few people harassing him in real life and on the internet. You don't stop to see how many people have done this to me for years, or how I'm treated for screaming for help, literally having to scream for help, having to act like my predators in order to get people to acknowledge that those things are wrong and illegal. In most of those situations, I don't have the ability to act like my predators because I have too much morality. The worst I can do is threaten to do some of those things. And even that I have to work myself up for. I'm a loving person, not a hateful person. But I do hate the life that I have to live because of false allegations. My predator, Natalie Bollinger, ended up dead, but she wasn't the only predator in that situation. Us girls gotta stick together, right? Isn't that always how it ends up? A lot of women that I know who tell me things like, oh, I don't have any female friends because all women are like this and all women are like that. But then when they don't get what they want right when they want it, turns out they do have female friends. And often, in many of those cases, it's the very female friends that she claimed were not her friends that she talked trash about whenever she come and talk to you. See, that's the thing about guys in the toolbox. We gotta stop saying friend zone, because that ain't what it is. You are a tool in the fucking toolbox. You come out when you're needed. Other than that, you do not fucking exist to her. I don't know how many times I've had to drop The horrible shit that I'm going through, that I need help with, I don't know how many times I've had to drop working on that, working on trying to get help, because one of my friends told me that they needed help. They needed a real friend. Do I stop and go, were they really a real friend? No, I stop and worry about their safety. I worry about their kids' safety. I guess I'm just an idiot like that. Now, this guy was harassed in exactly the way that I've been harassed. But when y'all want to pull your bullshit, you think you're gonna catch me trying to have sex with a kid or some crap like that? That shit ain't never gonna happen. People making fake accounts to fucking harass me every goddamn day. A lot of them, it says message deleted, message deleted, message deleted. A lot of those people are trolls who harassed me. That why were they deleted? Why are they hidden from my channel? Because they were bullies. I also took screenshots of the things that they were typing at me and the things that, well, you see on my channel that those situations are not true. You get to see how trolls like that, they go on and try to twist and manipulate anything into some horrible thing that it's not. They'll even try to change the English language in order to pretend like you did something you didn't. Oh, you were threatening to kill me. See, that's something that I can show with actual evidence, is actual threats against my life. There were two different events that prompted me to threaten people's lives back. And in both of those situations, it was threatening people back, with the exception of President Donald Trump. He didn't threaten me or harm me or anything of that nature. I just saw him as a means to an end. I figured if I threatened him, people would have to take a look. But they didn't. They still didn't. Any excuse not to look at evidence of the abuse that I've endured. It's hard to think of law enforcement as good people when they pull that kind of crap. And then when there's so many involved, A&E, when they debuted their new show, their pilot episode, it was about Natalie Bollinger. How many of y'all stop to understand that I still go through abuse every single day over that shit? You go through the stuff with Natalie Bollinger, you notice she never accused me of raping her or molesting her or any creepy shit like that at all. She accused me of stalking her, and the evidence shows that I did as she asked. I went to Virginia because she actually bullied me to go. But we'll pretend like it's because she asked. The thing is, she told me that she was going to commit suicide if I wasn't already on the road. Now, this is after I'm disabled, after I've screwed up my back, after she stopped me from committing suicide over abuse by police officers. You have no idea how many homeless people are suicidal because of abuse by police. It's incessant and inhumane. For me, I've been forced into a situation where I have to live in a vehicle. I don't have the ability on my disability money to have a decent life. And with all this stuff being public and it being bullshit and me never being allowed to face my accusers in court or to show evidence, I was never allowed any sort of actual defense ever. No public pretender would do their job. Not without a friend or family member who actually it and wasn't going to let me get screwed over. Y'all don't stop to understand how important friends or family really are. For me, if I go up the mountain, I don't have friends or family here. If I go up the mountain and my car breaks down, I'm just screwed. That's how it is. Now, if it was Chapel, Nebraska in 1999, yeah, I had friends that I could have called in the local area and said, hey man, my car's broke down, will you come out and get me? And they would have come out with a flatbed pickup truck to make sure that my vehicle, well, as long as it was within 20 miles of town, yeah, they'd grab a flatbed and come out and help me out. It'd probably be super cheap. Some of them might do it for free, some of them would just want money for gas. You know, it's not like any of my friends there were rich. But here in Tillamook, there's a very few people that I know, and when I've called them up, when they've said, hey man, if there's a situation and you need help, let me know. Oh, when there was a situation and I needed help, it was always what I am used to getting, what most men are used to getting when there's a serious situation. We know it needs to be turned in right away. We also know that because we're men, we're going to get blown off, so we need somebody else there to make sure the situation is taken seriously. There's one woman last year, she killed her own kids. The thing is that her husband had tried calling his wife in on ex by that point. They were broken up. You know, she kept on talking about killing herself and killing the kids and killing herself and killing the kids. Every time he'd tell her, hey, you need to stop hitting the kids. With Ryan Ingersoll, that's an issue that I had real heavy, is that she kept beating on the kids. And after the fact, she admitted that the reason she did the horrible things she did is because she was angry. And I gave her multiple opportunities to stop being abusive too. Oh, go ahead. She wanted to tell me it's okay for her to drink because she's an adult, and I told her, hey, that's not the problem here. The problem is that you're hitting the kids. If getting sober will stop you from hitting the kids, maybe you should get sober. How adult is it if you're getting drunk enough that you're beating the children just because you miss your own kids? And that was her problem. She'd get to drinking, feeling sorry for herself, feeling bad for herself because she can't see her boys. She also was telling herself what a great job she was doing because she was taking care of somebody else's kids. Even though she wasn't able to take care of her own, and she knew that. And she told Amy that too. And Josh knew that as well. Everybody was well aware of that. But Amy was able to convince Rihanna that the kids were better off with her because Rihanna wasn't on meth and wasn't with Josh. Amy claimed that she was leaving Josh. She was also having to serve 4 months in jail. But after she got done serving those 4 months, she was going to come back and get her kids. So Rihanna took in them kids. As drunk as she was going through a 175 of Captain Morgan every single day, if not more. And she was not in any way, shape, or form capable of taking care of herself, let alone anyone else. I'll pretend I like you for a cigarette or a rolling paper.
I got a rolling paper.
Yeah?
And very little tobacco. Yeah, come over here.
All right.
How about that? Trying to find out where that Fred Myers.
Why would you want to go there? Ain't nothing but white people.
I got it over my bicycle.
Oh.
I had to ditch it last night. The dogs got out. I got a phone call. And the guy brought them to me instead of waiting over on 12th Street. So, this is the second time they got out yesterday. The needless to say, they didn't eat dinner last night because I didn't make it back into town the third time.
Well, at least they didn't end up the pound.
I got tags on them.
It gets expensive when they take your dogs more than once.
Huh?
I said it's expensive when they take your
I
dogs
told them
more
what,
than
it
once.
cost me $125 the last time. Here you go.
Oh, thank you, sir. I don't know why I try to pick this stuff up. Probably because I'm OCD.
Huh?
I said, I don't know why I try to pick this all up. Probably because I'm OCD. All right.
Do you have a place where any of these are close? No, don't disclose. One income. Those can go, all one on video. Those can go. One income for them. These are the only ones that can take that. Oh, I'm thinking. Oh. Yeah, those are good.
I'm sick and tired of people blaming me for this shit. Telling me that I deserve for this shit to happen because I spoke up. No. I spoke up because the shit happened. Big difference. Y'all are into victim blaming and victim shaming. I take a lot of abuse as a result of it. And you believe it's okay because I'm a male, because you're sexist. Of course, you say sexism is wrong, but then when it's sexism against men, it's somehow magically okay. And this whole kill all men thing, it's pretty fucked up, don't you agree? I certainly think so. I certainly do not believe that all men should be harmed for the crimes of a few. And I don't believe that men should bear the brunt of abuse and be told that they brought it on themselves, or if they'd have just shut up, it would have stopped, because that's not the reality of it. The reality of it is, a woman doesn't even need to accuse a man of doing horrible stuff. If she's pretty enough and guys have crushes on her, they'll just pretend like you are, so they've got a valid excuse to the public. Like when somebody comes out and starts screaming at you outside of the Safeway, accusing you of being some sort of sick pervert, somehow magically justifies their behavior. Accusing you of being on drugs magically justifies their behavior. But then, how dare you say anything of that nature back to them, or they're going to get violent with you. We already know how predators work, and there's many of us out here who have to deal with them daily. The unfortunate fact is, as a man, in order to be heard, we have to be dead. And sometimes even that ain't good enough. On the bright side, I believe in doing the right thing because it's the right thing to do. Now, how about you? I'm willing to make a strategic withdrawal if it's necessary. But that's not the same thing as retreating or surrendering. I'm fine with death as long as it has a purpose. If I ended my own life today, would anyone look at my evidence? Only what I've been able to post. Y'all don't understand that right now, although I'm able to speak, I'm not able to function. Also, I'm dependent on others because of disabilities that, yeah, I finally got help, right? Finally got into housing. But then there's no services in Nebraska. So I got to see a therapist in Nebraska, 30 miles away. Live in housing in Nebraska. I got no friends there. I got no fucking anything there. There's people there that I knew way back when, but we ain't friends. Never were. Some of the people that I knew there that claimed to be friends, well, they showed that they weren't. A lot of those people who cared enough to actually take an active role in certain parts of my life, did they take that active role in order to take advantage of me or to help me? With each one and each situation, that question needs to be asked, because there are some people who helped me out of the goodness of their heart who later on lied to me about situations. See, when you make false accusations, that's not just gaslighting. You're trying to harm a person. You're trying to get people to hurt them for you. Now, we've done recent studies, and Facebook has done their own studies. Turns out that when women go lying about a man, they also go bragging about it oftentimes to their female friends or a new male suitor. You know what a suitor is, all of you do. A guy who got a crush on you. A guy who's willing to lie for you. One of the tools in the toolbox. You didn't get what you wanted, so you're going to pit one guy against the other. And that's not okay. You pretend all men are rapists, and then we're told that we need to turn a blind eye to abusive women. That men are like this. We aren't allowed to bring up female predators. Oh, men are more likely to... No, we're not. Women are way, way, way more likely to be sexual predators than men. They're just not taught that it's sexual predation when they do it. Just like it's not assault when they pound on a man for 30 minutes. It's only assault if he pushes her off. Isn't that right? A man has to do it for it to be assault. I'm going to get up the mountains. Craig and I both agree that my stuff don't belong up there. Messing up and nastying up national forest. Also, some of it's pretty important gear. Or stuff that I will not have the money for. in my lifetime. Because, see, here's the thing. When you're disabled and you have to wait to get your money, there's back payments that go with that. And that back payment helps you to establish a life. You save up your back payment a little bit, and you can use that back payment to get a down payment on something. When you've never had a cosigner for a goddamn thing your entire fucking life, and you've never had any goddamn money because everyone just takes advantage of you, oh, they don't have to pay you real money. They can pay you half what minimum wage is. And then they treat you like you should be happy that you're even allowed to work. And then you're treated like because you're a man, it's your fault, you chose it. Well, you shouldn't have gone there. If they don't pay you, don't go to work. Jesus fucking Christ, Captain Obvious here. And everybody got to play Captain Obvious like I'm a fucking retard who can't figure any of this shit out. Are you dumb? False accusations result in suicide because of this kind of bullying. But you see, this guy only withstood 2 days of it. How much of it did I have to deal with? Well, it hasn't stopped. The abuse and neglect that I have to endure has not stopped. How many of the women who did horrible things to me, and I spoke up about them, how many of them are recorded on my channel admitting to those things? A lot. Admitting that they said horrible things that were untrue because they were angry. Why were they angry? Because they got busted doing fucked up shit. When a woman does something fucking mean and horrible, it's always someone else's fault because a woman is not expected to control her emotions. Use your fucking brain, not your hormones. You find 80% of men in this country ugly. That doesn't mean that they're gonna fucking rape you, stupid. How about not being a fucking piece of shit just because you're not physically attracted to them? How about pretending like we're people too? Or is that beyond you? There's that guy who tried to turn in his wife because she kept on, she was getting physical with the kids. And he told on her for beating on the kids, but she got away with it. She got away with it because she's a woman, and he tried to turn her in again, and it didn't work. She took half his shit in the divorce. She tried accusing him of doing horrible shit to their kids and to her. And the kids stated outright that that shit never happened. Now what happened with that situation? Well, she ended up killing her fucking kids, is what happened. I could be wrong about the situation, but I believe that this woman was able to drown 2 of her kids before the oldest kid came in and stopped her. Imagine you get home from school, you're in junior high school, and you get home and your mom's in the bathroom and one of your brothers or sisters is dead and there's another one she's holding underwater. Now that happened multiple times last year and this year. Women drowning their kids to death, and that's not considered a violent death. You ever almost drown? Keyword there is almost, right? Because you're still here. When I was about 5 or 6 years old, there was a place called Rally Sport. My mom worked there. So I was fucking around by the pool, and I got into the shallow end. I wasn't 6 foot tall though, and it was about 6 foot tall at the shallow end. So I almost drowned, and it gave me the worst fucking headache. Oh my god. Yeah, it was violent. There was nobody holding me underwater. There was nobody pushing me in the water. There was nobody hitting me or kicking me or anything like that, but it was certainly violent, and it was certainly scary. If your own mother is holding you underwater in the bathtub, and that's not considered violent, then obviously somebody lives a pampered life and still gets to make decisions for the rest of us. So what did that guy get for his troubles? For trying to protect his kids from his ex-wife. He lost everything, including his kids, because of the myth that women can do no wrong. Everything harmful that she does is a man's fault. He emotionally cheated on her, huh? She can destroy your vehicle and throw all your shit out on the front lawn because she thinks you're emotionally cheating on her. For whatever fucking reason. But she actually had sex with your friends, and you're supposed to just let it go. The rules are always different for you than they are for her, aren't they? And then, of course, there's guys like me that aren't interested, but we're going to take the blame anyway because we're the tools in the toolbox. The guys who don't accept the standard accepted pay. There's a lot of women that told me they were in abusive relationships and needed help moving out, and after I helped them move out, they wanted to get intimate as a form of payment. I'm not down. A lot of those women within 2 weeks had gone back to that guy. They didn't know how to take care of themselves. They didn't know how to not be in a relationship. They went back to what was familiar to them. Yeah, let's forget about the beatings because there were good times. Let's have the honeymoon period where we get some more of those good times. Let's not listen to guys, and us girls got to stick together, and so on and so on. Is Chloe Roma working together with any of these men's rights advocates that are actually men? No, it's 3 women. Making a lot of money at it, by the way. 3 women. One of them from Australia who lives in Texas. One from Canada. And one from here in the United States. And these 3 women make a lot of money advocating for men. They also have a place to do it. They have the computer skills to do this editing stuff. They know how to do this stuff. They have a place to do that stuff. They have unlimited fucking funding to do this stuff, for Christ's sake. Because they have help getting it started to begin with. I never had that help. People who wanted to do stuff for me. Well, that left them in control of all this financing that people donated. Supposedly to me. But it didn't go to me, did it? No, it went to people who were predatory towards me. People who pretended that they were going to help, but never followed through. See, when a crime is committed against me, just like with you, the first 24 hours are the most crucial. And how many of you did I have to wait for literally years? Years and years and years. You could spend hundreds of hours arguing Oh, I just don't understand why you need me to speak up with you. I don't understand why you can't just go do it yourself. Well, you got the evidence. Why don't you just send it to them? Hey, I got a computer, you got a computer. They don't stop to understand that the police are just going to ignore every single piece of evidence that they can unless someone speaks up and says, hey, he's telling the truth and he is sending us the evidence. See, the stuff, all of the evidence that I tried to send the police, they pretended that they couldn't see or they weren't allowed to look at unless I was able to get someone to go with me. And I did finally get people to go with me over some of these situations, but never over the Natalie Bollinger situation or over the people bullying me. People who promised to help me in the way that I needed are the ones that I went with. But then they were always the you need to be overly patient type. You know the type. They want you to be patient for literally years over things that if it happened to them, they'd speak up immediately. But they pretend they don't know what to do. Well, I don't know what to do, really. I guarantee you, if that happened to you or your friends and family, you'd know exactly what to do, which is why I'd appreciate it if you didn't call me a friend. If you're not a friend, don't pretend to be. If you don't care, don't pretend that you do. There's a lot of gaslighters who promised me that they were going to help me, that they only wanted the best for me, that they were going to help me to turn in this evidence, and they never tried. No matter what, when it was time to come through and to follow through, there was always some excuse. And these people that made these Natalie Bollinger things that I get blamed for. Other people make Natalie Bollinger sites, and I get blamed for them. People that I actually know. What do these Natalie Bollinger sites claim? They claim that these people are figments of my fucking imagination. Well, I proved that they're not figments of my imagination. I recorded the dumb son of a bitches. If they had been friends or family, they would have helped me to turn it in at least to the police. And none of them did. A lot of people want to pretend I'm a horrible person who slandered their name because I spoke up on my YouTube channel about them. Most of them idiots should have paid attention to what they were calling slander, because I recorded the situations. There's a lot of people that after making them stupid claims ended up getting busted, realizing that they were busted, and then what do? Oh, they just hide. And that's okay. I still have the evidence that I told the truth. When it comes to assisted termination of life for men, yeah, I believe that it should be legal. I believe wholeheartedly this man did not have a way out. Because once these feminists get involved in trying to destroy your life, it's relentless. They'll pretend that they're at least 18 years of age and then type at you they're only 17 or only 14. And then you say, hey, I don't feel comfortable with you being on my channel. Somehow magically everyone's only 14 when it comes to actually coming forward when they watch my channel. And I say to them, hey, if you're only 14, I'm not comfortable with you on my channel. Natalie Bollinger and Alicia Bollinger knowingly, willingly, and intentionally destroyed my life in 2016. And any chance that I had at a decent life after that. Natalie Bollinger only accused me of stalking her, and the evidence shows that that was bullshit. We were friends. And we weren't friends after the situation in Virginia where she was embarrassed. All I got a hold of her for ever was help stopping the abuse. But I'm a man, so if I curse, then I'm evil. Isn't that true? If people curse at me, it's okay. I deserve it for being there. I deserve it for existing. I deserve it for speaking up. I deserve it for so many reasons. I deserve the abuse for doing what it is that a victim is supposed to do when they're abused. We just try, at least, to come forward about it right away. It was well past the point where the police needed to get involved by the time Natalie died. And the police should have actually done their job in that scenario instead of assuming my guilt and denying me my rights as a human being. By illegally preventing me from even knowing that I had a goddamn court date that I could go to and appeal that shit. Natalie Bollinger was able to win. And she got her brains blown out less than a week later. She tried to blame me for her and her friends making my life hell. Natalie Bollinger was not a good person. Good people don't do shit like that. And my supposed friends and family, who could have come forward at any time, well, they'd admit to me that I was telling the truth, but they wouldn't tell anyone else, would they? And then they wanted to play victim when I posted up the truth in their voices. I find Chloe Roma and the Dadvocate to be pretty gross. Out there looking for a date. Most of us just want to be left the fuck alone. But that is never going to happen when the victim is male and he's never allowed to speak up. When all of his resources are taken away because his predators thought gaslighting was okay. And all of you support this shit. It's fucking gross. By the way, I didn't get not one red cent out of the GoFundMes that were created for me. Not one red penny. Well, I'm accused of ripping people off for thousands of dollars through GoFundMe. Well, I fucking didn't. Ted Bollinger did. Candace Bondurant did. Cara Rogers did. You want to make those accusations? You make those accusations towards the people who are in control of that. Because I wasn't. Other people made those.